First of all, I want to stop and congratulate you. Most leaders talk about scaling or improving, but very few have the discipline to actually sit down and rebuild the engine that makes it possible. By being here, you've already made a choice to stop being the bottleneck and start being the architect. You are joining a community of leaders who are moving away from guessing and toward proven methods that I have refined over 17 years and major turnarounds. You are joining a community of leaders who are moving away from guessing and toward proven methods that I have refined over 17 years and two major turnarounds, creating over 150 million in value. In this lesson, we are talking about the turnaround mindset. In my experience, the biggest obstacle to 100 million EBITDA isn't a lack of talent. It's the cult of the hero. You know this person, maybe you are this person. The hero is the one who stays until 10 p.m. to fix a shipping error, or the person who saved the day by manually overriding a broken process. In most companies, we give these people medals. In the execution engine, we see them as a red flag. Why? Because if your organization requires a hero to survive every Tuesday, your system is fundamentally broken. So let's move on to this second slide where I want to show you, looking at the screen on the left, you see the heroic management. It looks like chaos, lots of energy, lots of motion, but no predictable outcome. Every win, it's a one-off. On the right, you see then the systemic architecture. This is where we build a bridge out of the chaos. Heroes are exhausted. Systems are relentless. Heroes don't scale. Systems work while you sleep. Heroes create dependency. Systems create freedom. I once stepped into a facility where leadership was working 80 hours a week, yet on-time delivery was at 60%. They were all heroes. We didn't hire new people. We didn't buy new software. We simply installed the direction, the system, and the systems to support it. Within 90 days, we hit 90% on-time delivery, also known as OTD, without a single person staying past 5 p.m. That is the power of a system over a hero. Now, let's move on to the next slide where we'll see. Before you move to the next video, I want you to open your worksheet. It's called the Master of Ops Firefighting Baseline Audit. It can be found at the bottom of the page in resources. I want you to list the 3 heroic things you did last week, or probably this week. Maybe you stepped in to solve a conflict, or you personally checked an invoice. Now, next to those items, I want you to write down what rule or system was missing that allowed this fire to start in the first place. We aren't here to be better firefighters. We are here to stop the fires from starting. You have the tools and you have the experience right here in front of you. Let's stop being the hero and start building the engine. Before we go into the next lesson, let me just drop you something real quick, something that I believe that you will like, as I want to walk you through. So as you go down to the resources, you are going to find, and let me take a look at this one. You should be seeing my screen right now. This is the worksheet right now. I left in yellow all of the fields that you can fill out. In this case, let's assume that you are the CEO of a company. Could be a mid-size, middle market company. And then there is a burden rate. I just left a standard 0.4. Then I also have the working hours per year, assuming that you take 2 weeks off. I mean, we all would love to take weeks off. Then that would equate to 2,000 hours. So that'll give us a total annual cost of 448K. And then if we go down here, I listed a few of the things. So if we sum these up, give us 60 hours. So these are just examples: meeting to review a quality issue, rework meeting, realignment meeting with management, reporting, or it could be the board, addressing responses to issues. That could be issues on the floor, it could be issues on the office, or whatever, right? In this case, I left it as issues on the floor. If we go down here, that equated all of that would be 60 hours of what we call firefighting or reactive work. In this case, is in the category in managing disorder, which is not the category we want to be in. We want to be in a category, especially if you're a C-suite executive, VP, CEO, anybody who is even at a director level, you will want to be as strategic as possible the higher you go. In this case, we have a non-value added hours per week. In this case is 30 hours. Out of all of this, if we go to this one right here, we have some of these hours who were added values, some of them didn't. In this case, just looking into this, we're seeing that realignment meeting with management. I mean, this is definitely, you need realignment. There's no way around this, because we always are going to be working on challenges, on gaps. So not everything can be 100% of wasted hour, of wasted time, right? So in this case, for a calculation purpose, this is, I mean, the formula is already there. You don't have to move anything or change anything. Anything that is in gray, it's already, the numbers or data that you plug in will be filled out automatically. And so the result, the annual personal cost, which is your EBITDA or even profit opportunity, in this case, is $336,000. Now, this is the way to quantify it on the number side. However, there is also some qualitative data, meaning some things that have a lot of value that is not necessarily a dollar value. These are going to be the things that help you or hurt you on the culture side. For those who have done turnarounds in the past, you'll know that culture is one of the biggest things. In fact, this is why we're starting with the mindset first before anything else. And so, yes, we need to put numbers, but also we need to put a better, clear understanding about what the cost is. And there is a human cost, an emotional cost, a relationship cost, and a dollars cost. The dollars cost, we already have it. But what about the other ones? So we have three that we haven't even defined. So in my suggestion is, as you can see this, you're gonna find this one, like these three fields in yellow. Why? Because I want you to fill this out and to reflect on what is the cost for you to have all these issues. Let's say that you are taking care of, and let's just pick one of these as example. Let's see that meeting to review quality issue. The first thing that I would ask myself is, okay, do I have to be present in the meeting? Is this something that I have to do? Am I empowering my team members? Yes or no? Am I working long hours? In this case, I put here that obviously when you're giving your 120%, you either get burnt out or you feel very tired, because nobody, I mean, if you're running a marathon at a sprint speed, you're losing. So there is going to be that cost, the human cost. It could be your own, it could be someone else's. And then you also have the emotional cost. In this case, it could be, how do you feel? How do others feel around you? Is there some people not loving the fact that you're staying so late, and then you as a leader, since you stay late, some others feel that they have to stay, so they feel that pressure, and so everyone around you is maybe burnt out, and everybody is just pointing fingers at what went wrong because just people are upset at each other. And that in turn take us to the relationship cost. Maybe people don't truly believe in leadership, right? Why? Because you're not solving it, because that keeps being recurrent. So people are just wondering, why do we still have this problem? It could be the relationship with you, it could be the relationship among colleagues, or it could be just low engagement. People stop caring after a while. Why? Because things won't change and things will just remain the same. So why bother? This is something very common for those who have been doing improvements or growing, scaling companies. All right, so I hope this has been very helpful, and see you on the next lesson.